4 days ago, Egypt's entire coaching staff stood in front of cameras and accused an Argentine refereeing crew of bias. Their players said the tournament was fixed. Their federation filed a formal complaint with FIFA demanding that crew be excluded from the rest of the competition. A former FIFA referee said the VAR intervention that eliminated Egypt should never have happened. Peter Schmeichel said you cannot have it both ways. 38 members of the European Parliament signed a petition demanding an investigation into FIFA's president. And FIFA's response to all of that? They appointed another Argentine crew to referee the very next quarterfinal. Not a different nationality, not a crew from a neutral football federation with no connection to the controversy. The same nationality, Argentine officials, the man with the whistle, his assistants, the VAR team sitting in the review room, all Argentine nationals, appointed to oversee France versus Morocco in Foxborough, Massachusetts on July 9, 2026. 2 days after Egypt said the Argentine crew that refereed their match against Argentina was biased from the very first minute. 2 days after the Egyptian Football Association demanded that crew's exclusion. 2 days after the football world debated nothing else. FIFA proceeded anyway, without explanation, without acknowledgement, without a single public statement addressing why this appointment, in this context, at this moment in this tournament, was the right decision. And then, in the 62nd minute, Kylian Mbappé scored, and Morocco claimed there was a handball in the build-up. The goal stood. So what exactly happened in Foxborough today, and what does it add to a tournament that has already produced more institutional controversy than any World Cup in the history of the game? Let's start with the football, because the football tells a story that deserves to be understood on its own terms before everything around it is examined. France were dominant for most of this match in a way that had become familiar to anyone following their campaign. Les Bleus arrived at this quarter-final having conceded only 2 goals across their entire tournament. Their defensive structure, built around the back four that shifts and compresses with a precision that most teams at this level cannot replicate consistently, has produced the most miserly defensive record of any team still in the competition. In their group stage campaign, they were clinical. In the round of 16, they were efficient. And in the first half against Morocco today, they were exactly what they have been throughout this tournament: organized, patient, and waiting. Morocco's first half was extraordinary in the wrong direction. The expected goals figure Morocco generated in the first 45 minutes was 0.04, not 0.4, 0.04. The Atlas Lions, who had beaten Canada 3-0 in the round of 16 and who had reached this stage having conceded only twice in their entire campaign, could not generate a single meaningful attempt on Mike Maignan goal for the entire first half. The XG number of 0.04 is essentially mathematical zero. It means that across 45 minutes of football, the opportunities Morocco created were so minimal that even in the most optimistic statistical model, they would have been expected to score from them fewer than once in every 25 attempts. France dominated territory, controlled tempo, and prevented Morocco from finding the rhythm that had made them so difficult to stop against Canada. Yassine Bounou was not tested. Morocco's midfield, which had been so effective against Canada, found themselves unable to progress through a French defensive block that gave them no space between the lines. And then came the second half. Morocco responded. They showed the attacking intent that had been absent in the first period. Brahim Diaz and Azzedine Ounahi made early bursts into the penalty area. The Atlas Lions looked like a different team from the one that had generated 0.04 expected goals before halftime. But just before Morocco found their rhythm, the goal came. 62nd minute, Mbappé. A build-up that Morocco contested immediately. Their players surrounded the referee. Their bench erupted. They claimed there was a handball in the sequence of play that led to the goal. The Argentine referee consulted with his VAR team. The review was conducted. The goal stood. There was no public VAR explanation released at the time of the match about what the review found and why the handball claim was rejected. The ball appeared to make contact with the French player's arm in the build-up to the goal, but the specific position of the arm and whether it was in a natural or unnatural position, the criteria that determines whether handball is penalizable under the current laws of the game, was assessed and found not to meet the threshold for disallowing the goal. Morocco's players did not accept that. Their protests were visible and prolonged. The scenes on the pitch recalled with uncomfortable precision what had happened against France in the 2022 semifinal in Qatar, a match that the Royal Moroccan Football Federation subsequently filed a formal complaint about, citing two penalty incidents that they believe should have been awarded to Morocco and were not. 4 years later in Foxborough, another match against France, another disputed decision in the build-up to a French goal, another goal that stood. And just before halftime of the first half, Morocco had appealed for a penalty of their own. Orline Tchouameni appeared to hold back a Moroccan player inside the box. Play continued. VAR did not intervene. Two moments where Morocco believed they should have received favorable decisions. One handball claim in the build-up to the goal that eliminated them, one penalty claim for a hold inside the box that was ignored. In the same tournament where Egypt's second goal against Argentina was disallowed by VAR for a foul in the build-up that a former FIFA referee said should not have resulted in VAR intervention at all. In the same tournament where the same Argentina team received 8 penalties across 2 World Cups, the highest figure by any nation in the modern era by a wide margin. The second French goal came through Ousmane Dembélé in the 79th minute, 2-0. Morocco pushed late, as they always do, but the match was settled. France are in the semifinal. Morocco are going home. And in London, the reaction from Morocco's diaspora community was immediate, emotional, and in places deeply troubling. Disorder erupted on streets with a heavy Moroccan population. Riot police clashed with crowds waving Moroccan flags. The emotional pain of a second quarterfinal defeat to France in circumstances again surrounded by disputed refereeing decisions overflowed in ways that no one watching wanted to see. Now, let's address the refereeing appointment directly, because this is the detail that connects this match to everything that has happened at this tournament before it. FIFA appoints referees to matches through a process managed by its refereeing committee. Referees are selected based on performance assessments, physical fitness data, and match history. The appointment of an Argentine crew to France versus Morocco was made weeks in advance. It was not a reaction to the Egypt controversy. It was not a decision made in the 48 hours before the match. But its optics in the context of what happened with the Argentine refereeing crew in the Egypt match 2 days earlier were impossible to manage. FIFA knew when the appointment was made public that it would generate exactly the kind of reaction it generated. An Argentine crew overseeing a quarterfinal 2 days after an Argentine refereeing crew's decisions had prompted formal complaints from Egypt, European Parliament investigation demands, statements from former FIFA referees, and widespread accusations of tournament manipulation. The decision to proceed with that appointment, without any public explanation, without any acknowledgement of the perception problem it created, is consistent with FIFA's communication posture throughout this entire tournament. The organization says nothing when saying something might require engaging with questions it cannot answer comfortably. It proceeds and trusts that the football itself will eventually dominate the conversation. The handball claim in Mbappé's goal, the non-penalty for Tchouameni's hold, both generating protests from Morocco that mirror the protests of 4 years ago on the same stage against the same opponent. Mbappé scored his 20th career World Cup goal with that strike. He has matched Messi on 8 goals at this tournament. The race for the Golden Boot between the two players who are most widely considered the best in the world is unfolding in real time at this World Cup. And it is extraordinary football content that would be dominating every conversation about this tournament if the off-pitch controversies had not grown so large and so loud. Because what France showed today against Morocco is genuinely exceptional. Their XG conceded throughout the tournament remains among the lowest of any semi-finalist in World Cup history. Maignan has been almost untested in matches where the result was not already secure. The defensive organization that Didier Deschamps built across years of managing this squad has been refined to a level of mechanical precision that makes them extraordinarily difficult to score against. And Mbappé at the peak of his powers in a World Cup where he has 8 goals and is matching the pace of some of the greatest individual tournament performances in the history of the game makes France not just defensively solid, but offensively devastating in the moments they choose to attack. France will face either Spain or Belgium in the semifinal on Tuesday, July 14. Spain, who have still conceded 0 goals across their entire tournament. France, who have conceded 2. A Spain versus France semifinal would be one of the great matches of this entire World Cup era. A Belgium versus France semifinal would be the fifth consecutive time France and Belgium have met in a major international knockout competition, with France winning all four previous encounters. For Morocco, the tournament ends where it ended in 2022, one round earlier than the historic third-place finish that made them the first African and first Arab nation to reach a World Cup semifinal. Two quarterfinals against France, two 2-0 defeats, two sets of disputed refereeing decisions that their players and federation believe went against them, two formal complaints filed with FIFA, one after 2022 and now the institutional machinery of their federation preparing their response to what happened today in Foxborough. The handball in Mbappé's goal, the non-penalty for Tchouaméni's hold, an Argentine refereeing crew appointed 2 days after another Argentine crew's decisions prompted global controversy. The same France, the same result, the same margin, the same protest on the pitch. What do you think? Do you believe the handball claim in the build-up to Mbappé's goal should have been reviewed more carefully by VAR, given everything that has happened at this tournament over the past week? And with France now in the semifinal, do you think the accumulated weight of refereeing controversy across this entire tournament has already changed how the 2026 World Cup will be remembered, regardless of who lists the trophy in New Jersey on July 19? Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe for complete semifinal coverage as this story continues to develop, and share this with any football fan who watched that match today and felt they had seen something similar before.